So in this video, guys, let's talk about non-duality and devotion, adding God to your non-dual practice. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, do you have to add a devotional aspect to non-duality? Of course you don't have to, but I strongly feel it's recommended, and I'm going to go over the reasons why. Because look, if you've seen a few of my videos, I've said this many times, I grew up in religion. There were so many holes in the story that it wasn't for me. Then I became an atheist. That wasn't making me happy. Then I went to Buddhism, Neo-Advaita, then Traditional Advaita. And Traditional Advaita would always talk about devotion. And I thought, why? It's the one appearing separate. What do I need to devote for? Why? Common sense, isn't it? Well, that's what I thought. But here's the thing you've got to remember. And like I said, you don't have to add devotion. But the beautiful thing about religion is, just in any traditional religion, there is God and there is you, your ego. This God concept is very valuable for the fact that this God, this belief in a higher power, by default humbles this ego. Yourself, this egoic self, is limited. Limited power, limited intelligence, limited knowledge. God has all the power, intelligence, knowledge in traditional religion. So this has a humbling effect on this ego, doesn't it? But what happens when you remove God from the picture? When you become an atheist or a non-dualist without God? When God is removed, what remains? Just the ego. What's the problem with that? When you think there is no higher power, there is only this, what's the tendency that we fall into? Life's all about this. I might as well serve this person, make this person happy. It becomes all about this person. Now, I'm not saying atheists or non-dualists that don't have a devotional nature are selfish. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the risk is very high to fall into selfishness, because there's no one else to serve other than this. You've deleted God, there's just this egoic self to make happy. And the problem with that is, whether you have figured this out now or you're going to figure it out in the future, just living this life to serve this one entity is ultimately going to cause you misery. Yeah, you get all this short-term happiness, but it's like junk food. And that's why so many people are miserable. I think with a Western mindset. I was going to say Western culture, but a lot of Westerners do have a devotional nature. I'm saying the Western mindset of materialism, it's all about this person, don't believe in a higher power, do what you feel like. Is that the Western mindset? I don't know. But that general vibe of, we don't need God, it's all about this person, make this person happy. Short-term happiness, that's what it'll bring you, but long-term misery. Anyone that sincerely devotes to a higher power, has a spiritual practice, thinks of others rather than themselves, many times in the moment it can be annoying. I'll admit it. But there's a long-term satisfaction of getting up in the morning, having a meaning, having a purpose, saying to yourself, I'm doing this for a higher power, or I'm doing this to serve others. There's long-term satisfaction in devoting, serving, having a humble attitude towards life. That's going to bring you all the peace, happiness, and contentment long-term. Like I said, in the moment, it can be frustrating and annoying. But anything that's worthwhile doing takes hard work, dedication, and service to a God or others. That's the way, guys, for long-term inner peace and happiness. So again, I'm just saying, you can have non-duality without a God. And I tried that. When I started this channel, I was hitting the non-dual videos hard, intellectually. I was trying to show you guys, I know this non-dual knowledge inside and out. I can answer anything intellectually because I absorb my intellect in this knowledge. And I can see oneness. I know it's all one appearing separate. I can't be convinced otherwise. It's so obvious to me. But here's the thing I was missing for many years. I didn't feel it. Because I was so resistant to devotion. I'm like, I don't want this devotion. I just need to see oneness. That's my problem. I can see it. I know how it's one. You can't convince me otherwise. But what's more important? What we know or what we feel? Many times we know what the right thing to do is. We know when you're single, you know the type of person that's good for you. You know the type of person that's bad for you. Then why do you feel you need to go with the bad person? Why do you feel you need to make the wrong decision? You know you should be exercising and eating healthy, but why do you feel like you want to be lazy and eat junk food? See, our feelings, honestly, we're emotional creatures. Our feelings, most of the time, override our intellect, and many times what we feel generates apparently logical thoughts. In other words, what we think backs up what we feel. And then we think, I'm being logical and all. No, you're emotional. That triggers thoughts, and then you think those thoughts are logical. If you get what I'm saying there. We're emotional creatures. So it's good to understand oneness intellectually, but to feel oneness is to feel love. If you've got non-dual knowledge but hate in your heart, what's the point? It's the one appearing separate, I feel miserable. It's the one appearing separate, I hate these people. It's the one appearing separate, oh, they'll get over it. It's all a dream, I'll take things from them. I'll hurt them to please this person. See, you might as well not get into non-duality. You might as well just live like a worldly person that's slightly selfish. I'm not saying all worldly people are selfish. But you know that vibe of, it's all about me, put number one first. All you're doing is adding a label of non-duality and doing the same. It's the one appearing separate, they'll be all right, it's a dream anyway. Serve this person. Why? And that's the harsh realization I had to come to. I could see oneness, intellectually know it, see it, but I didn't feel it because I didn't open up this heart. Because remember this, what does our ego do? It's the one appearing separate, so why not make this person happy? But look at it logically. If you really think it's the one source appearing separate, this is just a small fragment of this one. So if it's the one appearing separate and what's the second Mahavakya? Tat Twamasi, thou art that. It's the one appearing separate and you are that one. You're all this. Why are you so focused on just this when you're all this? And what's more productive, serving this little slice of reality or all of that? You are the one appearing separate. You've got all this love in your heart that's compressed into this one body and mind. That's wanting to be released into this reality, but you're not letting it. That's what the ego's doing. Your essence is infinite, eternal, all loving, all the omnis, but it's being compressed into this egoic self. What devotion does is open up the heart, let it flood out into this reality. Now look, you don't need God for this. You can delete God and say, look, it's the one appearing separate. All these people and all this creation is me in another form. So I'm going to love, serve. But if that's too hard for you, bring God into the picture. My life has changed by bringing God back into the picture. And this is totally compatible with non-duality, like I said. Because remember, your true self, consciousness, is limitless. Non-objective qualities can appear in any story or form it wishes. If you're happy with the atheist story of your life, not believing in a higher power, and you're doing fine, no need to change. But if you're anything like me, and many others, there's no problem with adding a God to the story. It's the one appearing separate anyway. You're relating to others. You realize it's the one appearing separate, but you still treat your parents like parents, children like children, your boss like boss. You've got some intelligence on how to fix a car. If the job's too big for you, you call on a higher power, the mechanic, to come and help you. See what I'm saying? You realize it's the one appearing separate, but you still have interpersonal relationships, which are ultimately artificial. So what's the problem with creating another artificial separation between you, a limited ego, and a true self, a higher power, that you can devote to, that you can ask questions, that is the storehouse for all knowledge, wisdom, and power, that is willing to work through you only if you humble this ego. That's all that's happening. Your ego needs to be humbled, lowered. And this higher self, true self can work through you. And you don't have to think, oh, but I'm a non-dualist. What's all this God talk? No, you and God are always one. That's what non-duality is showing you. You and God are one in the same fabric. You and all your family, friends, strangers, the people you hate, one in the same fabric. There's a story between Rama and Hanuman in the Ramayana. Rama was the seventh incarnation of Vishnu, of God. Rama asked Hanuman, how do you see me? And Hanuman said, beautiful answer. When I identify as the body, I'm the servant, you are the master. When I identify as the soul, I'm the part, you are the whole. When I identify as my true self, consciousness, Brahman, me and you are one. This sums up Hinduism beautifully in the three modes of viewing this reality. Think you're a person? Devote to a God. If you're a qualified non-dualist, what is a qualified non-dualist? There is oneness, but God is the whole, we're the part. And what is non-duality? Us and God are one at the fundamental level. A beautiful way to look at this is the ocean. What is a traditional dualistic religion saying? I'm the wave, God is the ocean. Wave and ocean are separate. They're different things. What is qualified non-dualism saying? God is the ocean, I'm the wave. The ocean is just the sum total of all waves. What the ocean is the sum total of all the waves collected together. That's called the ocean. What is non-duality saying? What waves, what ocean? The fabric of both is water. It's just only ever been water, is water, will ever be water. So that's the three modes of looking at this reality. And you can switch between all three. That's what I do. Consciousness is limitless. You can switch perspectives. So here's what I do. This is just what I do. I have understood non-dual truth. It's all water. In this example, I'm made of water, God's made of water. It's all water. It's all one, with no division. But how do I relate to this reality? Like a qualified non-dualist. I'm the part, God is the whole. I'm the wave, God is the ocean. And it makes sense. You feel like a person. You feel like you're living a life. So why not devote to a higher power? It's not going to be a detriment to your life. I'll also like to bring in Pascal's wager. Blaise Pascal was a philosopher, mathematician. He was a lot of things, but basically there's something called Pascal's wager. And what was that wager? That wager is basically saying, if I believe in a God and you don't, an atheist, and God exists in the end, I gain infinity, heaven, eternal life. You gain nothing. Because I believed in a God and you didn't, and there was a God. But if I believe in a God and you don't, and there is no God, we both lose in the end. We both gain nothing. If you get what he's saying there, it's if you go through this life not believing in a God or a higher power, if there's a God, you lose. If there's no God, you lose anyway. But if there was one and you acted like there was one, you gain infinity if there is, heaven, eternal life, whatever you want to call it, or nothing if you lose. And I came across this Pascal's wager fairly recently, but I was living my life like this anyway, because I came to the conclusion, well, I didn't come to it like that, but it was more for me. I was thinking, whether all this spirituality and religion is made up, I cannot deny the benefits of living a spiritual life. Whether God's made up or not, whether there's an eternal blank or a heaven or reincarnation, it didn't matter to me. I'm thinking, here and now, this has brought me so much peace and joy, realizing non-dual truth, devoting to a higher power, seeing the divinity in everyone and everything, not holding hate in my heart. I truly admire people that can hold on to hate for years. You know why I admire them? Because it's so tiring. To hold on to hate, bitterness, and resentment, that requires strength. The strength to hate, to be bitter and resentful. I don't know how you guys do it. I'm weak in that sense. I can't hold on to hate and misery. I find any excuse for forgiveness and love because it feels so much better to be forgiving, understanding, patient, loving. I'm just weak to hold on to misery and hate. I'll be honest. But that's what spirituality and genuinely following religion does. Surrendering to this reality. It's not your will, it's God's will. Patience, love, forgiveness, seeing the divinity in everyone and everything. It's such a relief. So whether this is all made up, whether you're thinking it's all made up, okay, it's just a story if that's what you believe, but genuinely have a meditation practice, prayer, devotion. It's going to bring you so much joy. Many times I'm just walking or driving with a blank mind, not thinking of anything in particular, then I just get flooded with joy. It can almost bring tears to my eyes. And I'm thinking, there's no reason to be happy, but it's just a flood of happiness overwhelms me. And I'm like, nothing else in life can do that for me. So that's all I'm saying. Whether God exists or not, whether there's reincarnation, rebirth, or just a blank, a spiritual lifestyle gives you meaning, purpose, uncaused joy for no reason. And what are we all seeking in this life? Happiness. We can look out and go, what is everyone doing? It seems like a lot of people are doing a lot of things, but you know what they're doing? They're seeking happiness. In one form or another, that's all they're doing. We're all seeking happiness. The only issue is we're seeking limited happiness in limited objects and people. We get the thing, we adapt, we want more. We get more, we adapt, we want more. We try to get it again, we don't get it, we get bitter and resentful. So many people, as they get older, are getting more bitter and resentful because there's so many desires, things they wanted to achieve or gain, and they're not getting it. So it goes into the bitterness and resentment pile. Have you seen a newborn baby's face or a young child? They haven't fulfilled many desires and their face is like this. Desire free. What's a lot of older people's faces like this? Why is that? When you're an adult, you've fulfilled so many desires. You should be happier, but no. We've fulfilled so many desires, but it's those few desires that we haven't fulfilled that bring that anger to the face, tension. Imagine a big pile of all the food you've eaten, all the sex, all the drugs, all the pleasurable experiences in a huge pile. Imagine that. How much have you experienced that's given you pleasure? A huge, massive mountain of it. What do you feel like right now? Just one more bottle of alcohol. Just one more sexual encounter. Just one more hit of drugs. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you've experienced in the past. I want something now. Now. More. Don't get it? Angry. This is why it's exhausting. Once you anchor your happiness in your true self or in God, the more you focus on that, the less you focus on this limited reality. That's just dead concepts. Your true self is the light. This reality is a shadow. Stop putting your happiness in this shadow. Put it in the light. Peace and happiness. What you're seeking in these dead concepts is found, in quotes, right behind you. You're seeking it in the wrong place. And again, I've just gone off into a little rant. But basically, to wind down this video, guys, do you need God in non-duality? No, you don't. But it's really going to help you. I don't know what you think about my non-dual knowledge, if you've seen a few of my videos. If you feel like I'm well-versed in non-dual knowledge, exactly. I know this stuff inside out. But it didn't change my life until I started opening up the heart. Realizing and calling this reality as God. God appearing separate, I'm here to serve, devote. Your will, God, not mine. Now, to end this video, you might be saying, if you're going to keep talking about God, what was the point of this non-dual talk then? You're getting very devotional, Simon. Well, I'm not actually getting very devotional. I always was, but I thought I'd just slowly bring devotion more and more into it as time progresses. Because I've done a lot of non-dual knowledge. But you might be saying, well, what's the point of non-duality? You might as well go become a Christian. Because, you know why? My mind, for the longest time, was very intellectual, needing to know why. Non-dual knowledge gave me the why. I did not have faith in a God. I was not convinced. That's why I've also said I admire people that just have faith. Faith in a God, they devote, they don't need all this non-dual intellectual stuff, they just love, they just devote. I was never like that. I needed to know why. Why should I serve? What's the reasons? What's in it for me? What God? Non-dual knowledge made me realize what they say in non-duality, Swami Dayananda. God isn't a reality to be believed in, it's a reality to be known. Consciousness, pragyama Brahma. Consciousness is God. Consciousness is metaphysical. They will never crack consciousness because consciousness is the fabric of this reality. It's like a wave trying to study water. It's made from the very thing it's studying. Consciousness, non-objective qualities. Reality, 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time. Consciousness, 5th dimension. All power, all knowledge, all time, all space appears in consciousness and is made from it. It's God. It's pure intelligence. It's what you ultimately are at your core. But at the level of appearance, you appear like a limited self, so why not devote to the bigger self? And you don't have to, of course, but it's changed my life. It gave me the reason why. That's all I'm saying. As always, guys, hope this video helps, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Take care.